If you look at geopolitical concerns and if you look at some of the tensions, I'm thinking of Russia, I'm thinking of Libya, does that change your outlook for gas prices?
So gas pricing is something very different from oil pricing. Gas pricing is a regional issue. Gas prices in America are, let's say, capped by the cost of shale gas. So let's call it $3 per million BTU, with some exception in very cold spells. The prices in Asia are driven mainly by China and demand in China, and the prices in Europe are somewhere in between. Now, here, this is our daily exercise.
We're going back to geography. Let me show our viewers. We should get it on set. You know, put this up without giving me a warning. Okay, we have a map.
This is a map with all.
We're over here. There you go.
These are all the pipelines coming to Europe from around Europe.
Yeah.
So geographical Europe has access to the world's cheapest gas resources.
Yeah.
Because there's an issue in transporting that gas to Europe, the prices are higher than the costs, whereas in America, prices and costs are the same.
But Marco, when you look at so a lot of these pipelines, right, a lot of the center point is Russia, and we will actually put I mean, a lot of you know the maps of the world, but a lot of it is coming from Russia, and we had the debacle on Gazprom. So this is still linked to geopolitics. I mean, sanctions in Russia must impact the price of gas, or at least gas security.
I would say that we didn't have a debacle. We had 30 years of continuous flows of gas coming from Russia, and Russian gas is among the most abundant and cheapest gas.
Yeah.
What's important?
10 years ago, they turned off the taps.
Well, this was a commercial issue between the Ukraine and Russia. I'm more concerned about technical security, as we've seen in Austria and other situations, than I am about geopolitical, because it's in the long-term interest of who produces gas, wherever they are, to continue to sell the gas. And we've seen in Libya, there's been constant supply of gas, even in the harshest moments. The issue for Europe is, as the UK becomes an importer instead of an exporter, and the flows shift, we need more interconnections in Europe.
Yeah. Marco, one of the other things that we're trying to figure out, I guess, longer term is, you know, as things get electrified more, for example, the future of transportation, does that put any more pressure on some of your pipelines? I mean, as we use a lot more electricity, what does that mean for the outlook of gas?
So I think, first of all, a lot of electricity is produced from gas and through gas. Exactly. So that's a growth driver for gas. If we take a global view, the IEA and other forecasters, and it's well documented in our report, we assume gas will increase the penetration in the global energy mix until 2040. Gas has a significant role to play in transport. For sure, all modern ships are dual fuel and can run on natural gas, but also trucks and cars can run on natural gas. The effort to ban petrol and diesel leaves a huge opportunity for electric vehicles, but also for natural gas vehicles.
So do you expect I know it's very difficult, you know, longer term, but in 10 years, when will this transformation take place? And in 10, 15 years, can we say that, you know, gas demand will increase by a certain percentage?
Well, we've seen this year gas demand has increased around 6% in Europe and in Italy, indeed, with some increase coming from the industrial sector. When it comes to transport, we already have a big penetration. In Italy, we have 1 million cars running on natural gas, a lot more than electric cars. So the future will be electric, natural gas, and some hybrids that will be natural gas and electric for transport. In terms of electrifying heating in homes, it will take a long time because we need to redo the homes.
Right. Are you buying any company? Are you expecting, first of all, consolidation in your industry, and do you want to be part of that consolidation?
We are Europe's largest company in our sector. We think there's more value to be created by developing greenfield and brownfield projects than typical M&A. There's not a lot of synergies in our sector, so it's hard to justify a premium by integrating the company.
Are there any countries where you want to expand?
We are certainly, it's no secret that we're looking to Greece. Greece is under privatizing its own network. We've expanded into Austria, we've expanded into France. We are in the UK through the Interconnector, which is a pipeline connecting Brussels and the UK.
Yeah, so how does it work? Greece, I mean, I'm fascinated by this, right? So there's a public auction, and you kind of decide, is there potential in Greece also because growth is coming up, or,
yes,
or do you think much longer term?
Francine, if you look at this map, it's clear that apart from Russia, the future for gas will come from the southeast.
Yeah.
So today it's gas coming from the Caspian Sea and Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gas discovered in Israel, a lot of new gas discovered in Egypt. We know the world's largest gas field is between Qatar and Iran. So Europe has the luxury of being geographically very close to cheap gas. What we have to do is get the infrastructure in place to make it flow abundantly.
I mean, I don't get to do this very often, so I'm quite excited about having a map, I have to say. Nothing like a good prop. There's, you know, if you look at this part, which you're seeing, it's basically Iran, Iraq, then you have Syria, Turkey. this must be affecting geopolitics, right? How difficult is it to kind of get the permission to, either do the pipelines or get the gas out from this part of the world onto our region?
We are very far advanced in a project called the Southern Corridor. As SNAM, we're involved in TAP, which is the bit from Turkey all the way into Italy. BP and Sokar and other companies are developing the TANAP. I would say it's 80% done. So it's happening done. By 2020. We will have gas from the Caspian Sea into Italy.
Do you travel? Do you have to travel and meet with these leaders on a weekly basis?
Yeah, we travel often. I would say on a weekly basis.
Marco, when you look at the gas prices over the next 3 to 6 months, we've had an unusually cold Europe. What will they do in the next 3 to 6 months?
I think the issue has to do with storage. If we have more storage, we can level off the peaks in the winter. The problem is, especially for countries like the UK that go from being exporters to importers, and in the long term, the UK will import 80%, you need to rely on LNG. And LNG, you're really competing with China and Asia, who have no alternatives to LNG. All the demand for LNG is in the northern hemisphere. So Korea, Japan, India, China, Pakistan, Europe. It's all winter at the same time. Because gas is used for heating, you're competing at the wrong time of the year. So if you have storage, you can take summer LNG, store it, and produce it in the winter.
Okay, excuse my ignorance, but how much does it cost to do a storage facility big enough to actually level this off?
All these boxes are storage facilities. The UK had very significant storage, has recently reduced its storage. These are old, depleted fields.
Right.
So you're simply pumping the gas back where it was, and the cost of storage is very low. You keep it there for the season.
Does Brexit impact any of the kind of, does it impact your,
it will.
Some of these pipelines?
Not physically, but there will be issues around which hub becomes more liquid. Today, the TTF in the Netherlands is competing with the MBP here. There will be an issue with energy in general with Ireland,
right,
and possible impact of taxation. Any distortion to the market will be bad for the UK and bad for Europe.
But at the moment, the UK doesn't actually have any storage. So do you think storage needs to be built in the UK? And are you willing to do it?
We are advocates that storage needs to be built. Storage needs government support to be built. So you know very well that we have strategic petroleum reserves in many countries for oil. Yeah. But we don't have, with the exception of Italy, very few countries have strategic gas reserves. If you look at the map, gas is a lot more fragile than oil. Yeah. So we argue that we need strategic gas reserves in Europe and in the UK.
Marco, let me just show you your share price, which I'm sure you look at very often. So we're currently at 4.094. Do you think there's an Italian discount? Without getting into politics or the elections, does it sometimes, does it hurt being Italian because international investors kind of say, there are elections, I'm not too sure about that stock?
No, rather than the stock, we look at multiples, we look at PE and EBITDA multiples, and I think we're at the highest, we're probably the highest in our sector, certainly in Europe and looking at the US. I wouldn't say there's an Italian discount. I would say our sector tends to trade in a counter-cyclical way to inflation expectations and interest rates. I think when we look at Italy discount, we should look at spreads more than specific stocks. And if you look at bond spreads, they're very narrow. So the market is optimistic, and I'm optimistic on Italy.
Okay, Marco, do you, how much, cross-border, when you look at the US, do they do things differently? Do they have technology for moving gas around that's different from the one that you're using here?
In America?
Yeah.
In America, they have a very fragmented market, but it's very liquid. So it works because there's a lot of deregulation, and whoever wants to build a pipeline can build a pipeline. In Europe, we're halfway there because we started with a lot of national monopolies. The third directive created some integration and unbundling. I think we're not yet to the integration that we need to achieve. That's called the Energy Union. And so Europe is working very hard. We're helping Europe to really create an energy union where the gas can flow more freely without any bottlenecks. There's still some bottlenecks on this map.